Well, welcome everybody. A little bit of the world according to Flint and another great guest this week. Honored to have him. I'm going to say, I'll call him my friend, longtime friend, has a couple number one hits. And I will say this, I'm going to throw this out just because I love the year, because I can relate. The 1998 top new male vocalist of the year. I say 1998 because 98 was like my big break in the rodeo business. It was the first time I was picked to do the National Finals rodeo. So we're similar in time references, age, time references, all of it. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, brother. How's everything going?
It's going good. It's we get to do this. I think we're all lucky through everything going on in the world if we have some semblance of staying busy. I think that's a good sign. That's great.
That's why I've been doing my Monday night live from the bunker shows.
Yeah.
I did 15 or 16 of them straight every Monday night. And this past Monday night was the only night that I took off because it was kind of like my computer folks and those guys were like, hey, it's my anniversary. And I'm like, still got to work.
Yeah, come on. What's that about?
I
will say, I start with the hard hitting stuff. I do want to say for the people out there, there is no better sing along Pandora station to travel down the lonely highways with than Mark Will's radio on Pandora.
Really?
It's my sing along. It's my go-to sing along. As a matter of fact, driving from where I live to this spot right now, this morning, Jacob's Ladder. Boom.
Really?
Right out of the gate. So I got to know, because I've listened to Garth Brooks' Sirius XM station. I've listened to Steve Warner radio, Pandora. Do they just throw your name on there? Do you have anything to do with what songs go on those things?
Well, what they do is they go with the music that like I listen to. So they kind of take I believe this is how they do it. They take the reference of like the year that Jacob's Ladder came out in 1996. So they take that year, and then they also, we all have our own stations. We all make our own playlists and stuff like that. And I truly believe that they, once you publish that playlist, they look back at it and go, oh yeah, okay, we understand that. And so they'll take some of those songs. I mean, I've got a lot of Steve Warner. I've got a lot of Merle Haggard. I've got a lot of, Waylon and Willie and George Jones and stuff like that in my playlist that I listen to all the time. So I think that's where they get it from.
Well, it's funny because if I'm a fan of your music, I catch myself every song. This morning there was a Keith Whitley song. Tommy Shane Steiner was on. What if he's an angel? Anyway, so is your cut pretty good? You get a little cut of that at like 63 cents a month from the subscriptions? Is that kind of?
I make a 0.00009 cents.
I got a check in the mail a couple of weeks ago from Screen Actors Guild from a movie I was in years ago, $2.19.
See?
That's what's getting me through. That's what's getting me through these.
That right there is one Snickers bar.
Yeah.
If they're doing the buy one get one free.
Yeah, at the movie.
And if they are,
never. That's how I'm getting through these uncertain times. That's with those checks. Speaking of that, through all of this, I'm sure you have too. But I've done, believe it or not, Mark, I've done a lot of interviews through all this, different things.
Have you really?
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate your surprise.
Wow. Well, no. You're really good at it. I'm kind of sitting here in what we call the war room at the house. So I'm just praying that it doesn't start raining because I got these big skylights above my head, and when that happens, it sounds like, I don't know what it sounds like. I'm being pelted with rocks. So, I didn't think this out very well.
Well, it's funny because you can watch the news, you can watch ESPN, whatever. Everybody's got their Zoom set. I mean, now I have started looking when we first started today, I looked behind you. See, this is kind of my Facebook Live set, but I have one at my place too with a jersey, and it's well orchestrated. I see you've got some patriotic things. It's almost a buckle thing in the background. You got a pretty nice set there.
These are my military coins, or some of my military. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have like 5 displays of military coins. I actually prepared just in case you wanted a tour of the room.
Really?
I did prepare a tour of the room.
You did?
I did.
I would. Yeah, that would be great. Can you give us?
Okay.
Yeah,
hang on.
Let's see.
Hang on. Let me see what I got here. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to start. I'm just going to hit the remote on the thing, and it will take you around the room and show you what everything is. Okay.
You're so ahead of most people in this.
So this right here is a flag that President George W. Bush signed for me.
Oh, shut up, man!
Which was very cool.
That's great.
We did a bunch of events with him to welcome home troops, and that was one of the quotes that he had said right when 9/11 happened. And so a friend of mine did the print, and he signed it for me. And then right next to that is a couple of things. That's my tandem parachute jump that I did with the United States Army Golden Knights, and a dust-off thing when I was in Afghanistan. And let's see. I don't know what number 4 is. We'll see. Oh yeah, here you go. That's one of my deer.
That's nice.
This was a deer that I went on a Wounded Warrior hunt and I got. And let's see. And then
hold on. That's a nice whitetail. Where'd you get that big whitetail? Where was it? It wasn't so it was one of those fenced-in deals.
It was yes, but it was. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 7,000 or 8,000 acres.
Oh yeah.
That we were hunting in, and actually, well, I'll take that back. I say yes, but where we were hunting was actually not a fenced area. We went for a Wounded Warrior hunt. Not Wounded Warrior, but some injured guys.
Sure. And there's an elk.
I got to come back to me because now we're talking. But
that's okay. That's okay.
We did a hunt with some wounded special operations guys, and so that's where we went.
And you have some elk up there. You don't have to go back to the elk, but I know you're an elk hunter. You and I have talked about it. Well, didn't you tell me that part of? And I want to come back to the troops and the warriors, but you had told me a few years ago, you hunt elk. The meat. Your daughter does better eating elk meat than beef. Am I on the right track? Didn't you tell me that?
My daughter has a very rare digestive issue where her body doesn't process fat. And so in the midst of going through learning about all this kind of stuff, a couple of her doctors, we'd had a specialist in Atlanta, and we ended up leaving that specialist in Atlanta and going to Nashville, to Vanderbilt University. And basically what they told us was that her body doesn't process the fat. So we started her diet on turkey and on stuff like that. And I got the opportunity to do an event with RMEF, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, out in Vegas, and I was telling the guys about that, and I was telling David actually. So David and I were having a conversation, and they hooked Macy, my youngest daughter. They hooked her and I up on an elk hunt, and we went twice. We did 2 different elk hunts, and the 2 elk that are up on the roof here or on the ceiling. One of them is hers from her very first elk hunt, and then she actually has her other elk. She has her other elk head in her music room.
Oh, nice.
Right over there. So
nice.
Yeah,
nice. You've showed us a lot of the troop stuff, something from the president. I guess, and I made a note that you've done a lot of work entertaining troops and traveling. I guess what I like is I wasn't really aware how much you did that, and I respect that more because we've come into this world of it seems to be everything done, whether it's, it doesn't matter what you can pick on social media. It's more of a, hey, look at me entertaining troops. Hey, look at me doing good. You've kind of, in my mind, done it under the radar a little bit, which tells me it means more to you than just optics. There's a real depth. Yeah.
It's the way it should be. I mean, we shouldn't, you and I think we discussed this on one of the shows that we did in Vegas a few years ago, but we may not have, but just in case we didn't, I believe that we shouldn't make a living off other people's sacrifice. Mm-hmm. I believe that if you want to go and entertain the troops, you go and entertain the troops. I mean, of course, everything we did was in conjunction with the USO and with the United States Army, and we traveled some with the Marine Corps, and we traveled a lot with the Air Force, and we've done a lot of stuff. We've done a lot of stuff stateside. We've also done a lot of stuff, and over the years in Iraq and Afghanistan and Kuwait and Uzbekistan and yeah, we got to do some neat things in Hawaii, and we got to go to Japan, and we've done some really great things, but and we'll post a picture of it and we'll do some stuff like that. But I think that personally for me, and it's nothing against anyone else and how they market, what they do or anything else. I just always believed that it was better to do it because you wanted to do it and because that's where your heart was, than to gain some sort of notoriety or some sort of, accolade for it.
Right. Well, I see. There's always something on social media about, oh, look at these basketball players gave their classmate a new pair of shoes because he couldn't afford shoes. Sure enough, there was somebody there videoing it. Crazy. Oh, just give the kid shoes, man. Just, do it anyway.
Here's an NFL player that donated, $100,000, just do it.
Yeah. Just do that.
Just do it. I mean, and during a pandemic, during these times when there's a lot of stuff going on, I mean, I always feel like it's better for people to know that you support them, and you don't necessarily have to support them. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be something that you're doing to tell people about. I mean,
sure.
I might be,
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to make a visual out of it.
Why? Did I say something?
No, drink your vodka out of whatever mug you want to drink it out of, Mark. That's your prerogative. You bring up through the times here we're going through where we're both in the entertainment business, just in different lines a little, and what we're going through in Montana is the biggest thing in the summer in Montana is rodeos. So people talk about the rodeo business. With me, it's PBR. With you, it's music. I tell people it's the live event industry, whether it's Broadway, whether it's concert tours, rodeos, professional sport. It's all which is in shambles right now.
Absolutely.
My brother and I have talked. My brother is a professional rodeo announcer, and he put it a good way that everything that feeds us, literally and emotionally, has been taken away, whether it's money, income, but it's that whole, everybody in that entertainment business, there's something right here that needs to be filled. And I think emotionally people are hurting. I don't want to lessen other jobs, but I know I've been keeping busy, but there's sure something missing. No matter how much we do on the computer, like you talked, from the bunker or whatever the name of it is, it's still, there's a connection missing, isn't there, that we need?
There is. I mean, in one way it's great because, I can sit on the computer and bring my guitar in and play, and in 1 hour have 100,000 people that are engaged in that. However, there's still this disconnect. It's like when you go to this weekend, I'm playing in Franklin, North Carolina. It's our first show since March 12th or maybe 13th. And, but it's a drive-in concert. Yeah. So, it's a 4th of July celebration. It's on the 3rd of July. But people are coming to the show in their car. They can't get out of their car. I'm going to be on stage with the band, with everybody right there, and we're going to play. And instead of people being able to clap, they're gonna like honk their horn or flash their headlights at me.
They used to do that when I played Little League Baseball. All the parents would park their car and they honk their horn. Yeah. And that's great. I mean, at least there's a feel of connection there. I've noticed that I'm in the next little while going to get back in the arena, and I don't catch myself craving the job that I do as much as I'm craving looking at people and seeing a difference I made in their day. Does that make sense?
Amen. Well, it's the same thing for a singer, I mean, I'm the guy that's had a lot of sad songs. I'm the guy that's had,
no kidding.
Be nice. I'm the guy that's had a lot of those ballads, but I will say this: I rarely ever see anyone having an emotional connection to 19 something. They're just smiling. Hey, love the song. Whereas when I'm on stage and I'm singing Don't Laugh at Me, or I'm singing Wish You Were Here, or I'm singing something like that, and people are standing out there and they're fully emotionally engaged with the song that I'm singing, that's the biggest payoff in the world for an entertainer. And I have to say that, and then I also have to counterbalance that with saying it's very hard for me to look at people when I'm singing that song, because if I look down into the crowd and it's somebody that I've never met in my life and they are looking up at me and just bawling because of a song, I cry too. Yeah. It's very hard not to.
That would be my mother, by the way. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. So, it's just one of those things where we're in a strange place in our world right now where everything that brings us joy or brings us peace is seeming to be put on hold.
Yeah.
And that for me is hard, because I've spent the last, just like you, 24 years bringing people entertainment.
Well, it's funny that, and now I get to thinking back, and I think the first conversation I had about this was with you, that music's a big part of my life. I don't make a living with music, but since I was a kid through high school, I was involved in music. And I want you to know, I made a couple notes here, and one of them was music should touch it. It should spark an emotion. And I had 3 songs: Don't Laugh at Me, Wish You Were Here, 19 something, because yes, the obvious emotions that are the emotions are obvious in Don't Laugh at Me, Wish You Were Here. Right. By the way, we're in Montana, Mark. I do wish you were here. You should see this place. The weather's nice. It's paradise. It's summertime 8 days a year. Anyway, but I was so looking for what you were going to put right there, because I was like, no, you lied. No. But I do want to, I don't know if I disagree with you. So the first 2 are an obvious touch emotionally. 19 something, we are close to the same age. And so our references are similar. When I hear 19 something, it does touch an emotion, because the references in that song, which was the most played song on country music radio, 2000?
For a decade.
For the decade. That's right.
For the decade, yeah.
It does touch an emotion to me. It makes me smile. But there's also the space shuttle fell out of the sky. The day Elvis died, my mama cried. I mean, to me, it's a roller coaster. It brings you here, Stretch Armstrong, and then it's the space shuttle. To me, it does touch an emotion. It's just a different kind.
Yeah, and I meant that more as an analogy from having a lot of those sad songs. I mean, look, in my lifetime, the songs that I grew up listening to, I can count on one hand the songs that truly, truly touched me, and they were all sad. I mean,
Me
yes,
too.
some songs,
Me
some
too.
songs make you happy.
Nope, but I'm
but
I'm a sap. I'm sappy.
Me too.
Yes,
Me
yes.
too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
wish you sang "Wish You Were Here" on my show in Vegas the first time you were on, and my mom cried.
Yeah.
Oh, that song! I said, "You don't know that song?" I don't remember. She said, "So, yeah, I'm sappy. I'm sappy." You, we all in every business you're in. I think maybe not everyday business, but every type of entertainment business from. Every professional sport is the entertainment business. So whether it's NASCAR,
Right.
bull riding, rodeo, my background, music, there is that one place that is held sacred. I was trying to think of it in my business. Could be the Pendleton Roundup, where I know you have played. I've told you this. I changed the words to 19 something. Rewrote the song for the Pendleton Roundup.
Right.
And I know this touches emotion with you. The Grand Ole Opry is when you see someone that you just know the Grand Ole Opry touches them and that's a place they go. I see that in you, and I'm always curious. A night at the Grand Ole Opry, it's just got to give you goosebumps. You walk in wherever you go in the back door. That's the sacred place to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there's two places that really ring for me when the words Grand Ole Opry come up, and that would be the Ryman Auditorium,
Yes.
which was the long home, the Grand Ole Opry show. The Opry is a show. It's the longest running radio show in history. I think it's celebrating its 95th year now. But it's been, so this Saturday night, I'm on the Grand Ole Opry, and it is the 4,931st consecutive Saturday night to hold a live radio program. So it has continued through all of this in some semblance of the Grand Ole Opry. Absolutely, yes, It has continued. It went on during World War II. It went on. I mean, it's been on every Saturday night for 4,930 consecutive Saturdays. And Lord willing, Saturday night when I get to Nashville, and we'll play the 4,931st. But yeah, man, one of the cool things that the Opry does now is it provides people with the ability to buy like a package, and that package, you go into like a green room out front, and you get to visit. And typically how it works is you have hors d'oeuvres, and they have drinks and stuff like that, and they play you a video of everything, and then sometimes they'll bring an artist in, and we do like a Q&A. And every time that I do that, I always go, okay, show of hands, how many of it's your first time here? And it is crazy at how many people will raise their hand and say, it's my very first time at the Grand Ole Opry. Mm-hmm. It's my first time in the Opry House, my first time in the Ryman, or wherever the show's being held. And that, to me, that is so special, because in our world where, instant access is everything. I mean, come on, man, I can tell you anything I want to know right here. I've got it. I've got my computer. For people to still get out and make that trek, some of them across the world, to come to Nashville, to come to the Grand Ole Opry, to spend their summer vacation traveling from Alaska all the way down to Nashville for their first time at the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, that's very cool. It is an emotional place. I mean, this Saturday night will be my first time being back on that stage since, I want to say, February.
Yeah.
Because with COVID shutting everything down, and the Opry respected the fact that I lived 4 hours away from Nashville. So, I was beating their door down. I was like, I'm ready to play. Put me in, coach, knocking on the door. And they're like, look, we're trying to do this with folks that are in town, so they don't have to stay in motels, so they don't have to drive and all that kind of stuff. And I appreciated that. But I'm ready to be back on that stage. This Saturday is going to be awesome. It's going to be myself and Sarah Evans and the Oak Ridge Boys.
It's an all-star cast. That's an all-star cast.
It's going to be a cool way to celebrate the 4th of July.
Vince Gill, I always like to see those moments when you're do they call it an invited, asked to be a member?
Yeah.
And
the invitation.
Vince Gill. That was your guy, right? Were you and Vince friends before? How'd they just whoever's there, how'd that work?
I don't really know. I don't know how that worked out to where it was Vince that invited me. I do know that Vince and I've been a huge Vince Gill fan for the better part of my entire life. Yeah. I mean, I can remember being 13 years old, maybe 14, going to Nashville for the first time. And there used to be, it's now a library. It's right downtown. It's right across the street from the old convention center. Mm-hmm. But it used to be a mall. And I went in that mall and I bought a Vince Gill cassette tape.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm 13, 14, maybe 15 years old. But I've always been a fan. I've always been a fan of the music. When I Call Your Name, Pocket Full of Gold. I mean, we could go on and on and on.
What about Pure Prairie League days? Wasn't he in Pure Prairie League?
Yes, he was. He was. You surprised me there. You pull that one out.
I am a plethora of culture flowing out of me. Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah. So, I mean, Vince has been a friend for a long time. And so for him to surprise me and tap me on the shoulder as I was walking off stage and him go, "Hey man, come back out here and sing a song with me." It was like, okay, what are we going to sing? And he said, "I don't know, Pocket Full of Gold." And you
instantly said, "I can't sing that high." That's because Vince Gill is like,
that song for him.
Oh, wow.
I've sang that song for him. That's what was funny was that. So one night we were doing a private event at the Grand Ole Opry, and it was a police function. It was for the FOP, Fraternal Order of Police, were in Nashville, and they were having a big to do up in Nashville, and they had booked a private Opry, and so it was myself and Craig Morgan, who's a Leo, and I know Vince was on there, but Vince had laryngitis, and so he walks over to me. I'm sitting on the side of the stage, and he walks over and he goes, "Hey man, will you come out and sing a song for me? Because I'm hurting." I said, "Yeah, man. What do you want me singing?" He goes, "I don't know. What do you want to sing?" And I said, "I don't know." And he goes, "How about Pocket Full of Gold?" And I was like, okay. And he hits a C chord on the guitar. And I was like, "He slipped the ring off." I was like, "Vince, that's too low." And he goes, he goes, "Where do you want to sing it?" And I go, "Give me an E." And he goes, "E?" And I said, "Yeah, give me an E." And he hits an E. And I was like, "He slipped the ring off his finger." And he goes, "Perfect." And he got up and walked off. And that was my opportunity to like run through the song. That was it. And sure enough, we performed Pocket Full of Gold on stage. He does it in F. Of course, he could sing tenor to a dog whistle.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was our time to sing it. So, that's kind of how it went down. That's how it happened.
Well, if you got his number, we'd love to have him on. So,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves when I call him out of the blue.
Yeah. Just if you could right now write it on a big piece of paper and hold it up, we'll just, that'd be great.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you don't want our friendship to continue. And when I say our friendship, I mean mine and Vince's.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Oh yeah. That makes no difference to me. And by the way, I'd video the fight the whole time. Just to put on social media.
Well, you're videoing now. I can see right here in the edge of my screen. It says recording.
Yeah, I guess so.
Recording.
I have my girls are very musical. My daughter writes songs and they're on, by the way, just a little throwing that out at you.
Yeah.
And they love, there's especially in small town Montana. Hey, you got a good voice. You write some songs, go to Nashville. Everybody's ready. There's better music on the street corner in Nashville than I'll hear in any bar in Montana. I mean, music is such a beautiful thing. And for something that's so beautiful, the business can be not so beautiful.
No, the business is like anything else. The business side of it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost, I've heard people say it's putrid. It's whatever's next, sort of. I've always respected you because you've stuck with your niche, the things that have made you what you are, you've stuck with it, and you still get to stay busy entertaining people with that music.
I would say, like everything else, if you go back and you look at, how the business has changed or how it's transitioned or whatever you want to use, whatever analogy you want to use there. It's always been something that there's a portion that always stayed true to what they loved. Mm-hmm. You do have some people that, they just want to make it in an industry, and they'll do whatever it takes to make it in that industry. And that can be Hollywood, that can be music, that can be, professional, bullfighting or whatever. I mean, whatever your world is, whatever, you'll have your people. I have just always, since I started my career in 96, there have been a couple of times where the record label has come in and they've said, hey, we want you to do this. And, and being a team player, and there's a difference in being a team player and just being a total sellout. Mm-hmm. Being a team player, I was like, yeah, man, we can do that. We can do some stuff that, that kind of changes it up a little bit and puts a different spin on it. But all in all, the music that I've recorded and that I've put out, there's one or two songs that I look back on and I go, yeah, man, I would have, looking back on it, I would have never done that song, or whatever. But I think we've all done that. It's not selling your soul to the devil. It's right. Simply, working with the powers that be, but especially over the last decade, like the new music that we're getting ready to put out, is straight up 100% exactly what I wanted it to be.
Perfect.
It has the ability to compete at today's market, but at the same time, it has the heart and the soul and the reverence of country music. And so, that's where I'm at. That's what I've been doing. And hopefully once all of the craziness here is over, we're going to get that new music out there.
Well, and you can grow that mullet back out, get that shag, get that flow going. You know what?
It's going to become it'll be a comb over. That's what it'll be.
You know what's missing, right? You take your cap off. Before you took your cap off. So before I let you go, I think what you need is like a really good cowboy hat, like a camouflage Toby Keith.
It's funny you would mention that because
weird, huh? It's almost like
being somebody that never wears a cowboy hat.
Rightly so.
Sure. I wasn't sure if I was going to need this. I wasn't sure if coming into this, you were going to have your cowboy hat on, and I had fought all morning with what am I going to do? I went down and I got my George Strait cowboy hat, and my head had obviously grown. So I was forced to go with the Toby Keith.
It says Toby Keith.
It does.
Oh,
I have literally had this hat for, man, I don't know. I would say 10 years.
What'd you do? Buy it at the Toby Keith Bar and Grill? Or at a concert you paid to get in?
I did not. I was somewhere doing something, and I needed a hat. I needed something other than than a cap. I don't know. Maybe I was fishing or doing something like that, and I wanted something to kind of, flatten out and have some fun with. And I saw this one, and I just decided that that's what I was going to go with. So I bought the camo. Well, maybe because I had the flag on the side.
Yeah. Well, I do want to compliment you that it was a terrible choice. But no, I mean, you look great in it, Mark. I mean, that's what I meant to say.
meant exactly what you said.
Yeah, I
okay.
did. I don't apologize for what I said. Well, let's,
All right.
being up here in Montana, I know some people. Let's get you back up here and get you another good elk to go on the wall. How about come up, bring
I would love that. I am just as happy with putting a cow in the freezer as I am putting a bull in the freezer. So yeah, if you know somebody that wants a hillbilly to come up and take an elk, you send them my way. I'm more than happy to do that. And and yeah, maybe while we're up there, I can get a appropriate
cowboy hat. I know people for that too. I know people can get you an elk and a cowboy hat. Look at that. I got, you get Vince Gill's number. I'll get you an elk. How's that? Listen,
I'll call Vince first.
Okay. Yeah. Vince, this is what's on the line for me. That's what you can tell him. I got an elk on the line here.
Look, man, you don't understand. You get to travel with the Eagles, but I need to go elk hunting.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I always appreciate you. And from day one, when you came to my show in Vegas, you've treated me as an equal, I will say, and I appreciate that. And I will tell you, and I probably told you before, I have been a fan since 1996, and I will lay this stick on you too. There's this thing in sports, in entertainment, where the people you kind of idolize and look up to, they say you never want to meet them in case they don't turn out to be the person that you thought they were. You are not, you are more. I consider you a good friend, and I appreciate it. And to take the time to do this, it's great.
I'm gonna lay this on you, and this is sort of an apology. I can promise you this. In 25 years, I've probably met people in the middle of something or in the middle of doing something that I wasn't as kind to as I probably should have been. Mm-hmm. I think we've all had those moments in our career where there's something going on, where our focus is here, and somebody walks up and says hello, and you're like, hi, and and whatever. I can tell you that in the last decade, for me, I have enjoyed people. I have enjoyed being around people. I have enjoyed doing the things that maybe early in your career you don't always take the time to realize how cool it is that you're getting to do that. Mm-hmm. And so you and the Rocky Mountain Elk folks, I mean, the Grand Ole Opry folks, the people that I have enjoyed getting to be around and getting to work with, that's been very special for me. I mean, when you get to make a friend like you and I, we've become friends. Mm-hmm. When you get to make a friend outside of your world, that's very nice. It's very cool. And I know that I could call you if I needed something, and just like you guys called me and said, "Hey man, will you do the show with us?" Absolutely. I mean, I'm sitting here at the house, and if I wasn't doing this, my wife would have me vacuuming. So I totally chose you.
Oh, look at that.
Over vacuuming.
Chose me over vacuuming. You see that? That's real. That's single tier. That's here. Well, listen, it's good to chat. Come up. We'll get you an elk. We'll do some music. Mark, it's always good to see you. And we'll do it again soon. Mark Wills, everybody. Thanks, buddy. See you soon.